Welcome to the Pain-Free Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Dana Jones. I am a certified personal trainer, and I'm here to help you achieve your fitness goals without pain. In each episode, I'll share tips and strategies that will help you stay safe and pain-free while you're working out. I'll also interview experts in the field of fitness and pain management. So if you're ready to learn how to stay active and pain-free, then subscribe to the Pain-Free Athlete Podcast today. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Pain-Free Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Dana Jones, and today my guest is Tracy Kasper. Tracy is the founder of One Small Step Walks, a community built around movement, mindfulness, and connection. One small step at a time. Tracy helps women take small intentional steps to create more clarity, confidence, and momentum in their lives. And I'm super excited to kind of dig into how walking could grow into something much bigger. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
So what inspired you to do this work?
Well, it's really been a health journey that I've been on for the past kind of 8 years or so. In a nutshell, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, did not want to let that control or dictate the rest of my life. And it took me a few years before I even changed anything. First, I changed the way I ate, and I realized that our bodies are not designed to feel bad all the time. And the way that I was fueling my body really was not the best way for my body, at least. So I changed that first. Then I started to get moving, because before I would not move my body in any way. And I did so within walking. And I started walking with my family, and that really just changed everything. So I hated walking by myself, but when I walked with my family, it didn't feel like I was doing anything, because we were walking, we were talking. And so now, fast forward, I want to create that opportunity for people who may not have something or someone to walk with. Or even if they do, here's an extra opportunity to get some steps in, to meet some new people if you want to, and have a great view while doing it, because we walk on the beach.
Oh, well, that's nice. I love that. So I guess going back a little bit, so when you're saying nutritionally you weren't sound, what do you mean? Like, I know for me, when I started looking at I don't know if I want to say it's like false narrative that I had in my head about what proper fueling was. And so because as women, we're kind of stuck with that. Like, we try to escape it, but the reality is we can't. And so I know for me, I thought I was eating healthy because I was eating salads and all that kind of good stuff. And then realizing that I wasn't eating any good stuff. So there was not a lot of protein. And then I also really wasn't eating carbs because, I learned that carbs were bad. So then that wasn't something I was supposed to be eating. What was it similar, or were you like going down the fast food route, or?
Well, I love that you call it a false narrative, because that's really what it is. And there's so much misinformation out there that even if one thing is good for one person, it might not be good for the next person. So you really have to find out what's good for you. So for me, I was always a very picky eater. So I found myself in my early 30s eating like a toddler. And so I would eat grilled cheese, quesadillas, and pizza, which I'm not saying that never to eat those things, but maybe not every day for every meal, because what I found, again, this is specific to my body, that gluten and dairy do not serve me.
Mm-hmm.
So once I started to kind of reduce those, and then eventually a few years later just stop eating them altogether, it changed everything. I started to be able to not only manage my pain that I was in from the autoimmune, but I wasn't in any pain anymore at all. And just from changing the way that I ate, like, I was not on any medication, which I refused. But I'm not telling everybody that they need to stop eating gluten and dairy. It is definitely check with your medical provider, and everyone's body is different.
Yeah, that is a big one, because I remember I was following carnivore people, and I can't remember which person said it, but finally they said, I realized that our DNA kind of dictates the food that we need. And so he was great because his family Nordic, so high fat, lots of meat, totally fine with his system, but his wife was more Mediterranean, and so she needed to introduce more vegetables into their diet for her to feel good, and that's I don't think anything translates so fast as your nutrition into how your body feels, and if you're not fueling properly, if you're not drinking enough, you're gonna feel like crap, and so even a walk feels very inconvenient and very unmotivating if you're hurt all the time or if you're just exhausted because your body is trying to digest food or whatever may not be working for you.
Absolutely.
So you did the walking and you're walking with your family. So aren't you just walking with your family now? What made you go to the next level?
So I actually ended up doing the crazy challenge called 75 Hard. And I did that with a couple of my friends. On the surface, it sounds like it's a workout challenge because you have to do 6 tasks every day. And it sounds extreme. And again, it's not for everybody. But so then I started working out with my friends and doing things with my friends. And I started to create community around walking, around other things. And it just kind of branched out further than just my family. That was actually during COVID too. So I was only seeing my family at that time.
Right. So then you started walking, and then what did that look like when you're getting how did you get people to join you, and how did it turn into something bigger than you probably?
So I actually had a different walking group a couple years ago. It just didn't have as much purpose. It was just let's get together and walk. And I had met people locally, and so I invited them to come. But now this one has much more of a purpose where I want to create that space for people who may not have it, or even if you're just looking for community to be out there with some like minded people to get some vitamin D, to get moving, but it also is to really show everybody that moving your body and exercising doesn't have to be some crazy big ordeal. You don't have to join a gym, you don't have to do CrossFit. You can you can just go on a very small walk with some people and the benefits are insane. Like, it benefits your mind, it benefits your heart, it benefits your lungs, and then you also get, the physical exercise benefits, but to me, health benefits outweigh the physical benefits, if that makes sense.
So 6 years ago, Tracy, is how much different is 2026 Tracy compared to 2020 Tracy?
In some ways, very different, in some ways, the exact same. So I actually ended up having surgery on my leg in the very end of 2024. So just a little bit of over a year ago. And I was at like the top of my game. I was fueling my body well. I had just like PR'd my mile. And then all of a sudden, I had to have major surgery on my shin bone and I could not move. So it it took a lot from me, but I like to think that all the work I've done between 2020 and 2025 almost set me up to
Mm.
be to be able to handle that because I've been through other traumas in my life and I got through them obviously, but it wasn't nearly as pretty. And so this time it forced me to slow down, which I did not want to do. It forced me to kind of surrender because I I couldn't drive anywhere. I couldn't walk. Like it was crazy. And I was used to just, I'm an adult. I'm on the go. I'm doing whatever I want whenever I want. And suddenly I could not do that anymore. So I follow this phrase where it's prepare for impact.
Hmm.
So it's don't wait until your health makes you, notice it. So had I not done all the mental work and all the even I mean, I was walking regularly, and had I not done that, I would not be who I am or where I am today.
I love that because I call it studying, but with my clients, it's because we know something's coming up. Either they're going to get a hip replacement or they're going to have shoulder surgery or something like that. So I always make sure that they study so that way the recovery is different. Because honestly, if you wait for something to happen and then you try to recover from it, the mindset is completely different. Where if you're feeling really good and this just kind of knocks you back, because I mean, the reality is whenever you have any kind of surgical procedure, whether it's major surgery or it's no big deal, oh, I'm just getting scoped or something like that, you have a foreign body that's entering your body and you are going to have all the responses, histamine response, you're going to deal with anesthesia. There's just a lot of things that happen to your body that you have to make an adjustment to and navigate. And if you're in pretty good physical shape, then it's a lot easier for your body to filter out all the crap that gets put in and even the mental crap that kind of comes along for the ride that you don't necessarily invite, but it's there anyway, just the doubts and the concerns. But
So
if you
much.
do go in that blind, then I think people have a harder recovery. And they talk about that, right? That you have better outcomes if you're more positive and you're in a better state of being prior to any kind of surgery. So that's pretty cool that because especially if you have momentum and it can throw you off.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Big time. But another part of my walking community, I mean, the name of it is One Small Step. And so if you just take one small step and you become consistent in whatever it is that you're trying to change, whether that be your nutrition or moving your body, or even if you just want to clean up your house, like it can be any aspect of your life. You just change one thing at a time and then you master that. And then you do the second thing. And the more you do at once, the higher risk you have for burnout. And it's just speaking from experience.
So how do you know when you master something? What was the first thing you chose you said was your diet. So
Yeah.
how did you know?
You just sometimes you don't even realize it, but it's when it just doesn't feel hard anymore. Change in any format is going to be hard for anyone. And I've been changing things for the last 10, 12 years. And it's still like, I still say, no, I'm not going to do that. But then once you do it, you get on board and sometimes it'll become a habit or you just start doing it without having to force yourself. To me, that's when it's comfortable. And if you want to, you can take the next step. I like to use the example of drinking water because so many people struggle with drinking water. And let's just say you drink 1 8-ounce glass of water just regularly. Well, my recommendation would be to make that 2 8-ounce glasses of water and do that for 7 days or maybe even 14 days. It doesn't seem like you really did anything, but you just doubled your intake. And so when that seems comfortable, then you can go up a little bit more. But if you're drinking 1 cup of water right now and you're like, I'm going to drink a gallon of water tomorrow, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Had a lot of bathroom breaks. Well, I was talking with a coworker about that because she's trying to do one habit a month
Hmm.
and stacking them.
Okay.
So I can't remember what her first one was, but last month was water, was the adding in the water. And consistently, I'm going to hit this amount of ounces for whatever it was. And she looked at her intake and said, okay, I need to do this. And then the only catch we were having, because we were having a discussion about it, was the idea of food, because it was where is the line of where it becomes like weirdly obsessive? And it's like, do I wanna try to just say, I wanna add protein, or does it need to be a number of protein? Or because once you start getting into like, well, I need to have 80 to 100 grams of protein, then it starts to become weird, like you're holding a gun to my head as I'm writing down what I've eaten, and was I really right about that? Or, wow, I need to figure out how to get it, that kinda. So where is, and I don't know, this may be something that you've come across. It's like, Where have the habits been okay, and then some that you don't like, where you're like, I feel a little icky with that one, so I need to back up so that I can keep going on a safe route."
I mean, for me personally, I am very, very stubborn when it comes to changing what I eat.
Mm,
And so I never want to, and but sometimes I can get myself to. Um, but I would say if it feels icky to you, then it might not be the habit that you need to change.
right.
Maybe it is okay. On the flip side, it might be the exact thing you need to change. So it's really like person to person. But when you're talking about protein, again, that can be taken in steps. Like, because if you're eating, and I mean, we don't really have to talk numbers, but just for sake of example, let's say you're eating 20 grams of protein and you want to go up to 100, jumping from 20 to 100 is not going to be sustainable. You have to do it a little bit at a time.
Yeah. It's definitely there are times that stuff feels like a job,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I already have a job. I have a couple of jobs, and so I don't want eating to become a job,
Yeah.
for sure.
It definitely can be. And then you also don't want to be so restrictive that you're not enjoying your life cuz
Yes.
like I said, like pizza and grilled cheeses are delicious. So enjoy them if that's what you like to
Right.
enjoy, but just maybe not for every meal every single day. But you've touched on a couple things where consistency keeps coming up. And I love to talk about consistency because it often gets confused with perfection. And consistency and perfection are two very different things. Consistency means on the hard days, if you don't have a good workout, or maybe you had a meal that you don't think was as good, or anything you're trying to change and you miss it, get back up and do it the next day. It's a new day. Just keep going. That is where the growth happens. That's the magic. With perfection, you miss one of those things and you're a failure and it's not worth it. And I ate a candy bar today, so now I'm just going to eat cheeseburgers for the rest of my life. And again, those are examples, but
I've been there, totally. I mean, not for the rest of my life, but I'm like, I'm freaking it's already gone now, so I might as well just go for it.
right, but it's not. And so just get back up, try again, and then that's where you become consistent. I also like to call that the messy middle, the mundane, where it's not fun anymore and you're not seeing results. But if you push through it, you'll become consistent, it'll get easier, and that's where you see growth.
Yeah. No, that's it's funny because that aligns with me with the mind body healing because of the fact that people who suffer from chronic pain are often have that personality trait of being perfectionists. And so even with the healing, we get a little weird where we have to do everything the right way or whatever. And like you said, it's going to be messy. And you have to have the loving kindness to navigate the little missteps and to kind of continue on. So it's definitely a challenge. We're human, so we're messy. And I think you just have to figure out your part in it and just be kind to yourself and know that, we're trying to enjoy the journey. I think sometimes we get a little future trippy and then that's what kind of creates the disappointment and the unreasonable goals.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's the way that you figure that out is you also have to fuel your mind in the best way. And so just some things that I've done to properly fuel my mind. And by that, I mean, have a positive outlook. And that also can get a bad rap where just because you have a positive outlook doesn't mean you don't have bad days, doesn't mean you don't get mad or have negative emotions, but you just keep going. And so, some of the ways that I've helped myself do that is through reading different books, through podcasts like this. I love doing affirmations. It feels super weird, but it has helped me be so much nicer to myself.
Mm.
And just then you just realize what you can do. You show yourself. Okay, they say I can't walk for 3 months. I'm gonna walk in 2 months. And then after that, I'm gonna go on my 40th birthday trip and do a polar plunge in Antarctica because 'cause I'm insane. So
Awesome. Hey, Joe Dispenza, they told him he was supposed to have his spinal surgery after he got hit by a car while he was doing a triathlon. And he laid in bed and did his affirmations and never had the surgery and essentially healed himself. So you can't knock the mindset of having positive thoughts. And again, it doesn't mean that you're getting crapped on and you're like, this is lovely, but
Right.
it's seeing the benefit of the being crapped on and going, okay, this is again a little messy, but we're gonna, I survived XYZ. I could survive this and we'll be fine.
Exactly. You've survived 100% of your struggles so far. Oh, let's go.
Go me. I love it. So, what are your suggestions to people out there who say, I want to start walking or I want to start a walking group? Do you have any tips for somebody who wants to do that?
Of course. So, with everything that I've mentioned today, if you want to start walking, I would take it easy. Don't try to go on a 5-mile hike tomorrow. Just go for a 10-minute walk and go outside if you can, because the benefits of being outside are so good. So, just start slow and take it, pun intended, one small step at a time. And then if you wanna start, your own walking community, feel free to reach out to me. I'm on Instagram at One Small Step Walks. Walks is plural and there's no spaces. And I'm happy to chat with anybody, answer any questions, and really kinda lay out how I did it.
Awesome. And you have an event coming up?
I do. So on Saturday, March 7th, we are walking in Dana Point, California. I'm located in Southern California, specifically Orange County. So all my walks are in a different location around Orange County. We walk on a paved path. We do 2 miles, 1 mile there, 1 mile back. And you start at 9 a.m., you're out by 10:15, and then you can go and do whatever you want to do the rest of the day. But if you are listening to this after March 7th, all my walks are the first Saturday of every month, and you can find all info on my Instagram.
Sounds good. Well, Tracy, thank you so much for being an inspiration and changing things. Change makers like you are the ones that are going to get us living longer, living better, and, you know, being happier for sure.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.